What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows. And today we are going to be talking about Marvel's 4-episode series, Zombies. That's right. Last week or the week before, whatever it is, we talked about the comic books. Now we're going to spoil the hell out of Marvel Zombies. So you've been warned. You can find us on Hops Geek News, any podcasting platform, social media platform. Find our lovely comic book reviews on nerdinitiative.com. And typically we do news, what we've been reading or watching. We dive into, our beer of the week and things, but we are just doing this as a special episode, as you might know. And so I'm drinking a Millennial Falcon from, oh my gosh, Mason Ale Works. I just grabbed the beer. I didn't really have a
They have
zombie
the best can art, man.
They do. I didn't have a zombie themed beer. I'll be honest. So I just kind of went with this because I don't know. It didn't really correlate with the episode. But you seem to have festivities over there, Wanda. So what do you have?
I have some toys that are festive. I have Shang-Chi, I have Kamala Khan, and I pulled out Wanda. My beer is Space Wizard, which they go to space.
Yes, they do.
It doesn't end well, but they go to space, and I have it in my blood. So this giant wine glass here that I think I bought at the dollar store like a million years ago, and you can see it's not doing great. But I added like the blood. It's been a few rough years. This is holding 16 ounces of a beer. So this entire beer is in this giant wine glass.
That's a big glass. Wow, that's kind of impressive.
Yes, it's always been my Halloween wine glass and my Dexter wine glass. And now it's my Walking Dead wine glass. So it's consistent with Zombies.
It is. It is. So, yeah, Marvel dropped the 4 episodes. I've been really waiting for this. Honestly, it's really anticipated. And my initial thoughts, having watched the 4 episodes, was I really enjoyed it. I thought the ending was kind of a choice.
Bleak.
It was very bleak. And it was one of those that it could serve as its own story, but I do think they're setting up for another season. I
agree.
That was they are
too bleak to not.
Well, and it was also
coming. We did say spoilers, right? Like spoilers.
We are going to spoil it. We're going to spoil it. My initial non-spoiler thoughts. It's very gory. It's very gruesome. It's very good. I enjoyed seeing, all the voice actors essentially coming back. Thor, Chris Hemsworth didn't voice himself, but
Spider-Man pretty much everybody else did.
Spider-Man
never does.
No, but I mean, you got Iman Vellani was there. Florence Pugh was there. Dave Harbour was there. They were all.
Melina sounded like Melina.
Yeah, and of course Riri. I think Riri and Kate Bishop were their respective voice actresses, I should say. So for the most part, the main characters, right, were there. And it was really great to see Iman. She killed it as far as voice acting goes for this. I love her in the MCU, and she's crushing it, having a lot of fun. So I enjoyed this, and my nose is so itchy. Lauren, what are some non-spoiler thoughts you have of this?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was better than I expected. I love that they connected it to What If, and I thought it was really well done how they had different groups. And so we got to see everybody kind of deal with the zombie apocalypse on their own and then coming back together. And one of the really cool things I thought, because in What If, we learned that it started in San Francisco.
Pym Labs, man.
And then we see it actually going down through Shang-Chi and Katie. And it's funny, though, because it's, how whenever you're watching Star Wars, I assume everybody does this. I hope it's not just me. You have to remind yourself where in Star Wars you're at. Like if you're watching Mandalorian, you're like, okay, like the last Return of the Jedi just happened. And when you're watching like Clone Wars, you're like, okay, this is before A New Hope kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to like remind yourself where you are chronologically. So in watching this, even though it's an alternate universe, I kept having to remind myself, okay, so this is before Endgame. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, Shang-Chi hasn't gone and, Katie doesn't, because I'm watching, I'm like, Katie doesn't know who he is.
She was like, you know how to fight? And, that whole thing. Yeah, you're right.
And that was confirmed for me when she said that. I was like, okay, yeah. So you have to remember where these stories have happened. Shout out to Blade, man. Now we no longer only have one Blade.
Unfortunately,
we only have one blade.
We only have one blade now again. So we had to briefly. He was Blade Knight, the Fist of Khonshu, and now he's dust.
I want to say a werepire because one fights werewolves and one is a vampire. I'm just trying to bring a supernatural feel to it.
This is where we depart from the non-spoiler into the spoilers. So episode 1,
Riri, I already spoiled, my bad.
Oh, that's okay. Riri, Kamala, and Kate in the tummy of Eric. Gross.
Oh, these
So
are just my notes. This was not my
these are your notes.
description of the
All right.
episode.
So in episode 1, we start things off with Riri, Kate Bishop, and Kamala, and it's awesome because we get to see the three of them. I'm super pumped to see those three again together. They are going through New York City looking for food, and they stumble upon a Quinjet that crashed. Yeah, they got to dig
That
in
was
there.
Eric, right? Eric Selvig?
Yeah, it was. And so
Okay.
they dig into his stomach and they find a transmitter and they're like, that's weird. But guess who shows up? Hawkeye. Hawkeye shows up, of course, and he's shooting arrows at them. And he shoots a trick arrow that Kate Bishop ends up taking, and it pays off later in a very funny kind of like because they build up this trick arrow and everything like that. She's like, wow, I got a trick arrow. She's super pumped. They get back to their hideout.
It was like the button in Ragnarok when they're like, what does this button do? And it's like, it's your birthday. It's like a party button.
So it turns out that the trick arrow they pays off right before Kate ends up biting the dust. Ultimately, at the end of this episode, she it's just it blows confetti. It's really nothing, but it is cool seeing Hawkeye as a zombie. He's trying to go after them. They escape, get back to their house where they're hiding out, and it turns out that it's like the Nova Corps or something. So this essentially sets them on their path to go to Ohio to an old SHIELD facility, and so the three of them, and with the help of Friday, who is in the Iron Man suit, and the head is a teddy bear. It's awesome.
Like
it's
that
cute.
was Kamala Khan's doing. Was the teddy
Oh
bear.
yeah, definitely. Because Tony Stark died, of course. The headless Tony Stark. They even make a reference like, "What? Tony had no head. He wasn't using it anymore." You know,
right?
That was great.
And I love that Cap because you had watched it before me, so you're like, oh, it is consistent with What If. But like when I saw Cap, and I'm like, he better be cut in half. They better have not ignored that. This is the end of the line, Cap, and took his shield, and they didn't ignore it. They were consistent with it. So I thought that was fantastic, and I loved seeing Cap move around with his hands and then go up against Alexi. I didn't even rolling behind Alexi's shield was hilarious.
I honestly, at first, I was like, oh. I don't know that this does tie into What If. We find out right, if you knew, you knew, but like episode 3 is where they like make it abundantly clear. But yeah, so they're trying to go through this valley. There's a mountain that's got blown through, and they're like, I guess we're going through the mountain. They're making jokes.
I don't know why they. Well, I mean, all three of them are notoriously known for making jokes in bad situations.
They are. And this just makes me need the Young Avengers so badly because I loved the three of them together. They have a lot of chemistry through the voice acting.
Just normal age Avengers.
Yeah, it's well, that's true.
Which I'm fine with.
But, I would love to have more of them. So it turns out though that Icarus and Captain Marvel are locked in battle, never to defeat each other. And it's a zombie Captain Marvel.
Oh, it was Icarus.
That was Icarus. Yeah.
I didn't know. I think because because I'm looking down and I'm typing my notes. I didn't know who the other one was, and I didn't pay much mind to it.
That's Icarus.
Oh, that's awesome. So we have an Eternal.
Yeah, so we find that the first time we've got Eternals, but they can never defeat one another.
Zombie Eternal. Interesting.
He wasn't a zombie though.
Oh, he wasn't a zombie.
No, Captain Marvel was a zombie. He was normal, I thought.
Oh man.
Because Captain Marvel was the only one that was really, going after them. And everything. So they're locked they're basically locked in battle, never to be defeated. And then Captain Marvel starts trying to go, they're violently fighting and they're trying to get through this. Zombie horde comes.
Too close to the sun.
Kate Bishop tries to use the trick arrow. Turns out it's nothing. And that's when she gets vaporized. And I gasped. I audibly was like, what? When she got vaporized. And then not long after, Riri gets bitten and then she gets torn apart. And I was just like,
I thought she was going to do something to like save it or something. That did kind of surprise me that happened so fast.
Why wasn't she in a suit? That's my other thing is what the hell, man?
Well, maybe she didn't watch Spider-Man's video in What If, like rule number 1, wear long sleeve shirts. It's a shame.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And Kamala finally, at the end of the episode, she's getting blown up to bits. And that's when Blade, we see somebody pick her up. We don't know who it is at this point. Turns out to be Blade. So that's where we meet Blade, but episode 2. Why don't you give us the rundown of episode 2 here?
Episode 2, we're in San Francisco. So we start with Shang-Chi and Katie are like running through San Francisco. There are random giant people and random giant zombies.
That was crazy. I was so confused what was happening at first.
Well, we knew it started at Pym Labs, so it must have been like something was going on and like random people were just getting like blown up and then bitten, which is actually
turned
really
into zombies, which was both funny and terrifying.
Yeah. But I love that Shang-Chi's dad shows up to save him and he's like, these people don't matter. And then he ends up getting bit. And in the end, while Shang-Chi's dad doesn't agree that these people don't matter, he does save his son and sacrifice
himself. I thought that was beautiful. That was a good moment because, his dad's obviously very selfish and they flew in on helicopters and they only came to save Sean.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not leaving Katie. And Jimmy Woo's there,
I
which was
got so
awesome.
excited when Jimmy Woo showed up. Oh my God, Mad Max
And he's
Jimmy.
doing card tricks.
Adorable. Yeah. I love the whole Mad Max
Oh, it
feel that
was
they had going
amazing.
on when they were fighting the scrolls. So I thought they did such a fantastic
Yes.
job throughout this whole thing of like bringing everything
They
in that
tied
we've seen.
everybody
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder,
You're right, though. Scrolls was amazing.
do you think the scrolls can become zombies? We didn't see any zombie scrolls,
You
did we?
know, I thought they were zombies.
Were they
I don't
zombies?
know. I thought they were zombies because yeah, so after they escape from San Francisco 5 years later, it turns out they're
Sounds like a
just
movie
Mad
in
Maxing.
itself. Escape from San
It does.
Francisco.
I'd watch a movie on them escaping from zombie hordes in San Francisco, honestly. But it's we get cut to Mad Max style where Sean has rings on one arm where he got bit, and then Katie has rings on her arm. So they both have 5 rings each, which is pretty awesome. And they're just Mad Maxing it. Jimmy Woo's there, and they're fighting off the Skrulls, who I thought were zombies, chasing them down. They kill them,
I was trying to
and
look it up, but I was in Logan's account and it wasn't letting me.
but yeah, they end up ultimately meeting up with Blade and Kamala, and things kind of go Aubrey there because everybody ends up at the Shield facility where we got Yelena, Alexi, and I forget her name, but Yelena's mom is there, and
Melina.
they can Melina. That's right. They can
But
control the
Melina dies.
zombies.
Doesn't she dies in the first one?
Shh. Oh, that's right. Was
Yeah,
it the
but
first
I
one?
love
No,
that they
I
brought
think
back
it was the first episode because I thought they didn't get to the Shield facility at the first episode,
they got
or
to
maybe they did.
the Shield facility in the first
You're right.
episode.
I'm sorry. At the end, so we do find out it's Blade. They get to the Shield facility. That's when the zombies separate, and then
I
the
love that
zombies
they
break
brought in
in
the
because
pigs.
the Dora Milaje show up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that like they mentioned the pigs because in Black Widow she's training the pig and she's like, "Oh, I named this pig Alexi," and so I love that she was able to do that with the zombies. That was actually
Yes.
really cool.
So I actually have a complaint though early on, and it's because I guess our girl Wanda, she can't catch a break because she's always the bad guy, and it turns out she's also the bad guy in these episodes. But okay, but like, why are we making Wanda Queen of the Dead? She's the Queen of the Dead, so she's got everybody going after Kamala for some reason. We don't know why. And yeah, why does it always have to be Wanda, man? Like, why?
Because
Kind
she's
of
a big
sucks.
bad and they can kind of do whatever they want with her. And she's got a
But
badass
she's
fun
not a
power
bad
too.
guy. Dang it. She's an Avenger, man.
I do have issues with a little bit because I don't like
It's
the
not
fact that she's
like,
always so easily manipulated into being the bad guy
that's
when
what
she's
I'm
not a bad
saying.
guy. I do get that, but at the same time, I don't know. It's really fun to watch her be a bad guy at the same time.
I guess, yeah. Well,
But
everybody comes together, essentially. Yeah, go continue. I'm sorry.
So still in episode 2, though, one of the things I loved is like the raft is like the saving grace. Like Zemo's like, oh, we got the raft. Zemo's controlling it, which means he was probably a prisoner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so they bring him out and he's like, welcome to this. And then I was so excited.
That's
when
right,
they
because that's where we find Kamala and them again. Yes.
But when they mention the underwater zombies and they're like, oh, they're making noise. And he's like, as long as their boss doesn't show up, I'm like, please be Namor. Please be Namor. Please be Namor.
Dude, how sick was that?
Oh my God. And
Zombie
the way they
Namor
did like the feathers on his feet when he like went flying through and you heard like the flapping.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
I thought so. The animation on him was amazing. So Zemo turns out he was sacrificing people to feed him.
Yeah.
Namor, and he's
I'll
like, yeah,
sacrifice
Namor will leave them alone.
Remember, he hates heroes because heroes cause Sokovia to fall.
And so, yeah, Shang-Chi and crew are in one thing, Iman, or Kamala and them are in another.
Zombie Icarus, his eyes are lit up.
Maybe it is Zombie Icarus. It didn't look like he was fully zombified. I know Carol was, but regardless, yeah, they launch and Kamala basically uses her powers to save them, and so Zombie Namor launches into them. They go right back into the raft, and that's when his undead show up, and that's just chaos. Everybody's fighting, they're shooting.
Cool use of the raft. That was a really cool idea.
I thought it was clever. Yeah, I did too. But it's really messed up that you thought Zemo is a nice guy and he's not, and everybody's getting killed.
One thing I did not expect to happen while watching this cartoon Marvel Zombies was to get emotional, and there were 2 parts where I got really emotional, and one was in episode 2. When Yelena said, "I love you, Daddy," and she sacrifices herself.
Oh, and he's like screaming, "It should be you and me, Yelena!"
Especially after we just watched Thunderbolts not long ago. So, and I'll talk about the next one. The next one's in the next episode, I believe.
Yeah, that one hit hard. So Yelena basically
Yeah.
sacrifices herself to get their escape pod out. Zemo's with the crew, and Yelena goes down with the raft, and you just see the lights slowly going out as the zombies are in there trying to break into her thing.
And then
That one
Zemo's like,
was
fine, where do we go? They're like, New Asgard.
yes, and they go to New Asgard. So in episode 3, they arrive to the shores of New Asgard. Valkyrie's there, and it's really funny because at first she's like, "Get away from me, mortals!" And sorry, the beginning of episode 3 actually is where it ties in. We see what happens when Ant-Man and Spider-Man and Black
Spider-Man's telling
Panther
the story,
leave.
which I love. This was the
Okay,
other
the story
time
was
I got very emotional because I don't know that they would have done this if Chadwick Boseman hadn't passed away.
So
And I
I
thought
thought
it
they
was
did this cleverly, right? He didn't speak a single word.
right. He that was the last thing he did was
He
voice
voiced, yeah.
The animated version of T'Challa. And so I
Mhm.
thought they did this beautiful, and I thought it was a great way that they had T'Challa sacrifice himself to save like existence, basically. So I thought that
Yeah,
that was
okay, so
really sweet.
we left off with zombie Thanos with his gauntlet. They show up to
At the end
Wakanda,
of What
boom,
If.
zombie Thanos. Yes.
Yeah. So
So
now we're
that's
caught
where
up.
this picks up. We're caught up. Spider-Man and Ant-Man with the cape of Doctor Strange and Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa are battling against zombie Thanos, who's trying to get the Mind Stone, and Thanos essentially gets it from them. And so, very emotional moment where T'Challa sacrifices himself because they open up basically the heart of Wakanda, which is the adamantium, or not the adamantium, I'm sorry, vibranium core. And the whole fight sequences are beautiful. Like, he's got one leg and he's leaping, he's fighting, he's putting up a really good fight. They're all putting up a really solid fight against this Thanos, who's learning. The creepy thing for me was he was learning. And Peter even talks about it in his monologue. He goes, he's learning, and that was probably the creepiest thing. And so he's got the gauntlet now. He's whooping them, and that's when T'Challa leaps, hits him, and they go into the core, both dying. And it was it was emotional because they never once had Black Panther's character say a single word. It was all through actions, and it was such a beautiful
And
homage to Chadwick
Spider-Man's
Boseman.
storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when we get to New Asgard, and then Blade's like, I'm the, Khonshu, and then Khonshu shows up to talk to Valkyrie, and she's like, Khonshu, old friend, and it was hilarious. So they go in there, everybody's partying, have a good time, and things are great, but something is off because Wanda shows up, and Wanda is perfectly fine.
The Queen of Sokovia.
Yes, and they're all like, no, she's the Queen of the Dead. What the hell is going on? Well, it turns out Wanda has essentially
So for a second,
used
I thought there was
magic.
2 Wandas.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one because I really did too. I was like, oh, maybe the Queen of the Dead is Wanda, but then this is a Wanda from a multiverse if we're playing in the multiverse.
Or maybe like she cured herself. Like,
Well,
I'm
she
an
could have
idiot.
cured herself.
I should
Yeah,
have seen
because
it coming.
I should have seen it coming because it turns
It
out
was Wanda. Oh,
it was an illusion, and she basically Westviewed everybody. And poor Alexi
Fool me
ate a bunch of
once.
fingers.
Fool me twice.
Alexi's
Shame
like,
on
I
me.
ate
He's
so
like,
many
"Oh,
fingers.
yeah,
They're
you
all
knew that was
zombies.
coming.
Yes.
Well, they
Valkyrie
knocked
was
the
not a
one out of
zombie,
Jimmy
though.
Woo's hand, so then you're like, oof. And then they went and
And this
killed
is where we get one of
Jimmy.
the most
What the
okay, I was gonna
hell?
say, like, Jimmy dies, but then Zemo also gets ripped in half.
Yeah.
That was gnarly. Dang, like, there's some brutal deaths, and Zemo gets ripped right in half, and they don't pull away from it. Poor Jimmy Woo dies as well, and it's sad. You're like, oh no, dude, no, what the hell?
Nobody wanted to see
They
Jimmy die.
ultimately do get to escape on a Quinjet, and it comes to find out
Thanks to
they've been trying to
Thor.
find the
Thor
yes,
redeemed
Thor.
himself.
He did. However, the Nova Corps knew all along what was going on and had quarantined Earth and threatens to shoot them down
You
if
can't
they
really
leave.
blame them. I
Yeah,
had
what's
been
your
wondering
thoughts on
too.
this?
I'm like, what if they reach out and then they find out the Nova Corps is gone because Xandar was destroyed by Thanos
That
before
was
he
my
went to
initial
Earth?
thought, actually. That was my thought too. And like, what if they're zombies? That was my
Yeah.
other thought. It's like, okay, so Thanos showed up to Wakanda as a zombie. What if he turned all of Xandar and the Nova Corps into zombies then?
Well, I figured he didn't become a zombie till he became here because Janet started it in the quantum realm.
Fair. That's fair.
In the movie, in 616, and I do the quotes because obviously not everybody calls it
Yes.
the 616. Xandar had already been destroyed, I thought, by the time Thanos made it to Wakanda. Because remember they like
Oh
made it
yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah,
of
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was like pointless because all those people died anyways.
That's right. That's right. You're right. No, that's a good point. You're right.
But clearly
Um,
something else changed in this universe that Xandar was
oh my
not.
God, we totally skipped over something really important happening.
What happened?
Thor, Rocket, and Groot show up
Oh
like
my
the
god,
scene from
and
Infinity
Rocket's
War,
skull was
and that's when.
terrible.
Okay, yes. So that's when Thanos uses the gauntlet and it vaporizes Rocket and Groot, and Thor gets blasted away back. And then you
Looking
see
like
Rocket's
Two-Face.
skull in the front, like it's right next to Thor, and they zoomed in on it. I was just like,
Yeah,
yo,
was
that one
harsh.
hit me. That one hit me a little hard. Okay. That was like, hey, man, that's kind of messed up. All right. They show up triumphantly, and then you vaporize. What the? And then you had
I
to
think I
focus on the
was
poor thing's skull. Like, dude.
I think I was still like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this tribute
It
to
was
Chadwick."
gnarly, man. Oh, I see. I moved past it the second I saw Rocket get vaporized, and I was just kind of, was
But it
that
was very
necessary?
similar to is it Endgame? It's Endgame. No, Infinity War. It's very similar to Infinity War in the sense of like,
They show up.
"Oh, you guys are
Oh,
in so much trouble now," and they show up and it doesn't really make a difference.
it didn't. No, because he still threw Stormbreaker right at his chest,
But it
and
didn't matter.
nothing mattered.
He
Yeah,
should
and
have gone for the head.
it's zombies 101, guys. Gosh darn it.
Well, he was supposed to go for the head, and that was his big mistake in
Yeah.
616 too.
Well, what happens in our final episode here? We get some
So
pretty cool stuff.
So damn you, Nova Corps. They were not going to help him.
Yeah.
They're trying to blast him. So of course they try to escape. They blast the thing. Kamala Khan puts up like her shield of protection. Of course it starts to fall apart because she can't actually hold it for very long. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
hard. And then they all get commertaged to commertage. They get the what is Deadpool call it?
Portaled, I guess. I don't
I
know.
know, but what's the term
I can't
Deadpool calls it?
remember.
Like sling ring, magical sling ring, or whatever. So they all end up at Comertage, and so now all of the stories have come together. All of the survivors are together, and we learn that Banner has the Infinity Stone energy. So the stones were destroyed thanks to
You get
T'Challa,
Infinity Hulk, baby.
but yes, Banner was the only one who could absorb the energy without essentially immediately dying. But Wanda has a big enough army, she can now defeat Bruce. So she cannot touch Bruce. So their whole goal is to make sure she doesn't touch Bruce.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what this main episode.
It's a
last
giant
episode
big
was.
fight of Hulk getting slashed up, taking on Infinity Hulk, really taking on zombie after zombie after
There were
zombie
some
horde.
amazing fight scenes, like the sword with Khonshu when he does like so you see Blade
Yeah.
do the sword across his face and you get a reflection of Khonshu. I thought that was really cool.
And then he dies.
He dies brutally.
So we are back to one Blade.
Because there can only ever be one Blade. Well,
Wesley
I like
Snipes had
seeing
it written into the contract that if you ever introduce another Blade, he must die.
immediately, even if he's
I
a
will
cartoon.
come back for Deadpool and Wolverine, but you must kill any other version of Blade.
Oh man. Well, that guy's also Cottonmouth, and now they're bringing everybody back.
Like everybody dies, actually. Really, everybody pretty much excuse my language, but they all
really
pretty much
did.
die. I mean,
I love that we saw Janet and Hank because Janet's the one that started it all. So I thought it was really cool that they brought Hank back. And then you see Hawkeye do like the arrow, but it's not like the cliche Ant-Man on the arrow, but it's still like a nod to that, it felt like.
Yeah. You know what's
cool.
funny? As much as Ant-Man in the MCU saved everybody's lives in Infinity War and Endgame, or Endgame, excuse me.
In this.
Well, no. If you think about it, in Marvel, Ant-Man was responsible for making Ultron in the comics, and then also in the original Marvel Zombies, Hank Pym was also responsible for the freaking Quantum Realm zombies. And so it's like, dude, Hank.
Well, Hank was the one that was responsible for Ultron. Hank Ant-Man.
Yes,
Not
that's
Scott.
what I mean. No, I'm not. I'm talking about in like the comic books. Yes, Hank Pym is responsible for both Ultron and zombies, and so it's just like, Hank, good Lord, dude, get your life together.
It's true.
But yeah, ultimately, Kamala must
show Spider-Man with the webs, and he like rips all the heads off. There was some really cool.
There's a lot of good
stuff going on.
Bloody deaths, a lot of good stuff. Yes, and in the end, though, nobody can take down Wanda, and Wanda basically offers an ultimatum to Kamala. I could essentially Inception you, and
she really wants Kamala.
Which was interesting. Yeah.
Well, it turns out the bangle.
Ultimately Kamala gives in, and you see her put that force field around the Earth too at the same time, and so she inceptions Kamala, and that's when Kamala wakes up and her friends are at the door. It's Riri and Kate, And so they're out having boba, and
Why are
everything's good and
kids
dandy.
obsessed with boba? I
Carrie
don't get
likes
the
boba. I don't like boba because the little balls in there. Whoa, they're
like
slimy and
either. Brielle
gross.
and Kaylee
Ugh.
love boba. Anytime we go anywhere with a
I have a lot
Chinatown,
of friends that
we
are,
get boba.
yeah, Carrie's obsessed with it. I don't know. I don't get the appeal. Again, I'm a
The
texture
lengths
person.
I've gone in different
Ooh.
places to get boba for these girls is ridiculous. But
Would
yeah, they
you
get boba.
inception yourself to stop the zombie apocalypse? Because
She didn't stop it.
she didn't. So basically, the zombie apocalypse goes on, but Kamala is now again inception by Wanda to thinking that everything is good on Earth, and that's when she's having Boba with Kate and Riri, and she starts seeing weird like flashes of zombies. And Riri's like, Kamala, Kamala. And that's kind of the cliffhanger we leave on is yeah, everything's kosher, except for not really, because there's cracks in whatever Wanda is doing to Kamala, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I don't ever like that. Like even in Supernatural
Very
when they do
bleak.
the like, oh, you can stay in this world and it's all hunky dory, but it's not real. For me, if something's
It's
not real,
no.
what's the point? It's like, oh, would you, poison this person you're in love with to be with them? No, it's not real. None of this is real. So yeah, no, I would not inception myself. But it's like, what about Kamala did
What
she
is
need
that's
more
what I'm
so than everybody
confused
else?
too. I'm
I
glad I'm not
mean,
the only one.
like, is the bangle versus the 10 rings? Like,
Is it her mutant gene?
I mean, is she the only
But I
mutant
don't
at
even
this point?
know.
I think
Well, she
oh,
is.
Namor.
Well, I guess Namor, yeah. But I mean, if we're keeping consistent with the MCU, yeah, she is the first mutant that was introduced, anyways, in the MCU.
Yes, but Namor is the first mutant.
Is
Namor's the first mutant comic books and MCU.
well, no, yes, well, okay. So I
He
guess you're
was
right.
introduced after
He was
Kamala.
introduced after they made the mutant gene
Yes,
drop
she was the
with
first
Kamala,
one with
but
the
yes,
da-na-na-na-na.
yes, that's what I was referring to. But you're right, Namor is a mute. Yeah, I
Namor,
don't
the
know what the
child
end
that I
game.
love.
That's why I feel like it ends on such a bleak, but also there's got to be more coming down the pipe because I feel like we should be getting an explanation, and it's going to be Kamala realizing this isn't right, and she's going to go
What
back
if we
into
get
the
a
zombie
live
world.
action follow up? Live
Okay,
action zombie thing would be pretty fucking sweet.
that would be dope. Okay, that's why I don't realize, Marvel.
Be a
I don't.
lot of. It would be very hard to make it look good.
Not really, not with the technology and effects we
Yeah,
have
but
today, though.
I feel like people are still so nitpicky. Like even in
Yeah,
stuff
but
today, it'd be like, all right, well that looked very fake. Like we know what an
this is the
exploding head
problem I have
actually
with
looks
Marvel.
like.
I guess
Never actually
is
seen a head explode. Not gonna
we
lie, I
have
don't want
so
to.
many characters and so many storylines that you could still put out an Avengers Doomsday, but you can still have Kate and Kamala and them doing their own thing on the side. Like there's no reason why you could not put out all this content as far as our characters and still have them do things like the Avengers movie and the Spider-Man fourth movie. Because why are we still not getting a Shang-Chi 2? Why are we still not seeing Kate Bishop? And
Well, this is giving me hope that we will be getting one soon because like
oh
Shang-Chi
yeah,
was I
Shang-Chi
feel like
and
one of
Kamala
the
were the two forefront characters. They're the main characters of this.
yeah, but I feel like Shang-Chi the movie was one of the most underrated movies of MCU with
Oh,
like
it was
I don't
my
want to say
favorite
underrated.
film of that phase. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it exceeded the so underrated is a bad choice of words. It was I feel like the most underwhelmed beforehand and did better than expected afterhand.
I've
I know there's a word for it
never
and I can't think of it.
well, I think people slept on it initially because nobody really knew who Shang-Chi was. And then the
I
word
feel
of
like it
mouth really I've
surprised
never seen
people.
anybody
Talk
talk
shit
bad
about
about
it.
the movie.
Yeah,
No, I really haven't. And you're right. But I think it really did surprise people. So I know we're getting a Shang-Chi too. They've talked about it.
I
And I'm
loved.
pretty sure he's in Doomsday. We know that in Secret Wars. But
Oh
I just feel
yeah,
like you could be doing so much. Like, why not do a special presentation? I guess this kind of was a
do a
special presentation,
karaoke
but
thing on Disney Plus that you can sing along with them.
I don't
Maybe
know.
have
I just
Jimmy
am
Woo make an
greedy. Okay.
appearance.
Yeah,
I
Jimmy
love
Woo's another one.
the Katie and Sean sharing of the rings. I thought that was a really cool thing they had worked together. Like I thought it was nice
It
in the
was
movie
perfect.
that she wasn't just like this innocent, I don't know what to do, I'm just going to stand
No,
here.
she
Like they
ended up
taught
fighting
her
with
how to
them.
use a
Yeah.
bow and arrow. Yeah. But in this, though, she never had a bow and arrow. But I thought it was really cool how they shared the rings and they like it was like the twins and like the boys, like they work together and they got it and like they're very much in sync. And I absolutely love that they don't give them sexual chemistry. I think that is
Yeah.
fantastic because not every
Well,
guy and girl duo has to do it.
For sure.
You have
That
Black
was my
Widow and
favorite.
Clint and them,
Yeah.
and yes.
That was easily my favorite of their relationship was amazing in this. And I love their relationship in Shang-Chi as well. And it was really nice to see that aspect of them fighting side by side and then everything else in this. I really enjoyed the show. I do think that the ending, it boiled down to, again, just a big, what would have been a CGI fight, but it made
It can't end like
sense.
that.
I,
Unless that's the
there's,
ending. There's nothing you can do. It's done. You're
I'm not
quarantined.
satisfied. I'm not,
Earth
because they
over.
would not have shown Kamala seeing the cracks in the inception, if you will, if it truly means that this is all they're doing with Marvel Zombies. I
That's
don't buy
true.
that.
Now, if they had made it look like she was happy and then it cuts to us seeing it as just zombies, that would make more
That
sense.
would
Of
have
like,
been a definitive ending, yes.
but
But the fact that
Riri's
she was seeing
alive.
it,
Riri's alive. I got to assume.
well, yeah, because she was calling for Kamala to snap out of it.
Yeah, and so yeah, so I feel like she survived because she did something to her arm when she got bit. She
She
stabbed
did.
something in it, and I thought she was then handing like
It
a
was the cure.
sample.
She was like, "This, this is a great way to test this." I think she made a cure.
That's what she said. Okay, I was thinking she was
She was
extracting
testing it.
something.
I want to say it's a cure.
So then that makes more sense.
So then if we get the next iteration, what if it's
So
her
then she
snapping
can
out of
cure
it and
everybody,
curing people?
but she's
Yeah,
got to be able to reproduce the cure.
exactly. So it was a cure, or
I mean, the
they
10
alluded
rings
heavily
can
to it. Yeah,
stop this
it can
kind of
stop you from
infection.
turning. That's
I thought
true.
his dad was going to cut his arm off for
I
a second.
did
I'm
think
like
he was cutting
watching it.
his
I'm
arm
like,
off too.
chop it off, dude.
My first thought
Like,
was
don't
he's
just
cutting his
watch
arm
it.
off as well, because what happens if you took those rings off his arm? It would just spread still. So it's
Probably, yeah.
interesting. I don't know, but
It's just
overall, like,
dead
really
blood, and you
good.
can see the arms deteriorating or decomposing
Yeah,
when he's singing and like floating it in the wind.
that is. Ew, yeah, it's so gross.
Singing Journey. That was fun.
Well, yeah, I have really just, aside from that, just my complaints, but like, I really thought this was great. Again, they made sure that mature rating was earned very much.
And I
It was
couldn't
really
even
good.
pull it up on Logan's account. So there you go.
There you go. Look at that. You guys can watch it. So it was amazing. Go check it out. Disney Plus now, and let us know what you think about it at the same time. And we've got a lot of good episodes. We're rolling into Halloween season, so make sure you check all of our
This is
podcast episodes
Halloween.
on Hops Geek News, any social media platform. I did write my written review of this. It's on nerdinitiative.com. But hang out with us, man. We really appreciate you guys. And let us know if there's any spooky stuff coming up, because I know we talked Screamboat. We're going to be talking Troll, which was a MegaCon suggestion. And shout out to all of our Patreons who follow us as well. We're going to be doing a big movie night for Pat for Beer Fest. And then, just hanging out as family. So I'll talk to you guys soon. And so will Lauren. Peace.